You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in a poem. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. Yes, I'm the winner, yeah. 'Cause I'm the winner, yeah. Am I awake or am I dreaming? So far gone, I won't look back. And when I move, there ain't no stopping me. You're pushing me up to the top. I saw the clouds looking angry, but then the sky reached my mind.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Plan to Prosper show. I am Sharon Campbell, your host for Tuesday, and the Plan to Prosper podcast show that's coming from where? The United States of America, North Carolina, Raleigh. I just want to tell you, a fabulous place to live. If you get a chance, Google it, all the great things that's happening in Wake County, which is the county. And you may think about, hey, I may need to move there. We are growing and thriving. The great thing about being part of this podcast is that we are in 200 countries. And we have a fantastic person that brings this show every Tuesday at 7 p.m. to you, which is Martin Lee. He is the producer of the show, the engineer, making sure everything works and goes well for you. As you may remember, we started out in June with our 12 weeks getting past stuck, our GPS system for nonprofits, business owners, entrepreneurs, 9 to 5, just started a company, you're trying to figure out where to go, hobbyists, hustlers. You know, this show is meant to help you grow and thrive. No matter where you are in the world, you can pick something up and use it. And so June was about building a foundation from being stuck. And you're like, well, what do you mean building a foundation of being stuck? All the things that you're going to need to get unstuck, we did that in the month of June. So go to our website, www.thesharoncampbell.com. Go to our blog. You can read all of the Tuesday blogs on getting past stuff. So we have one every week and with an activity for you to complete to get you ready for July, which is implementation. So you have to build the foundation first before you start implementing something. Think about it like this. You're ready to build this house. But before you can put the walls up or anything, you got to build a foundation. And so that was what we was able to do in June. We thank everyone that participated, showed up, looked, told someone. And, you know, I know the 4th was last week. And, you know, sometimes you need a time off just to relax, rejubilate, and get back on your plan. And so this week, we're going to talk about implementation. We're going to talk about the strategies for being successful. As you built the foundation, now you know the implementation, how to implement what you built. And so often people get stuck because they do not have effective implementation strategy or growth plan. Many times, what I found out as a person that's been helping small businesses and nonprofit for over 15 plus years is that people just don't know. They just don't know how to build a company. I always hear a lot of places where they say, well, they shouldn't have started one if they didn't know how. Well, you guess what? You had to learn. These big companies, Facebook started out with an idea, Twitter, all of that, and then it's just grew. You just start putting one thing before the other, and so we have to take the time to help a business or nonprofit build a foundation, and then help them create strategies, implementation, so they can implement those successful strategies to grow and thrive. And so for this month, we're going to just focus on implementation. And then we have some key things we're going to focus on. One is the benefit for you implementing something, the strategy around it, provide you some tools to help you implement it the same day. So we're doing it Tuesday. If you want to start tonight, go. If not, tomorrow be fantastic. And knowledge and facts, something that is true, has been proven over and over again, and the skill that you may need or that you have not tapped into. So let's talk about a strategy to be success around the powerful implementation for your business to grow and thrive. So we have this quarter, we have 3 months, and we have 12 weeks to design how you can grow and thrive moving forward, and to continue to add in until you retire or sell your business, or have a legacy business where you pass it on to the next generation. So step one, you must have a clear vision and strategy. One clear vision, and I ask people to always start with one strategy, because if you do not, you may end up with 3 or 4, and it gets so overwhelming that you go back to be complacent and start back all over again saying, this is my safe zone. We have to move out of that comfort zone and that safe zone of what we know. If you're going to grow and thrive and reach the income you desire, you have to become uncomfortable. See, comfortable will keep you where you are and not making the money that you desire. Being uncomfortable will push you into spaces to meet different people that can help you develop and grow. And that is for an introvert or an extrovert. Either one can benefit from that. And so we must start with the invitation of having a clear vision to where you want your company to go, and then what strategy, and then the benefit. Now, the benefit for this implementation is that once you write it down and practice it over and over again, it's like letting go of a bad habit, picking up a great habit, and that takes time. It's in commitment, because we're going to want to go back where we're comfortable at, but you have to push through, and you can always start the next day. If it doesn't work that day, then let's start where you're at the next day. There's no greater time to keep moving forward, but at some time you got to stop going, or you're not going to get to where you want to. So you got to make that commitment to keep moving no matter where. The strategy around developing a clear vision is a well-defined business plan with objectives and milestones. I know I've heard it so often. Do we really need to do a business plan? Well, a lot of companies don't have a business plan, and they're doing okay. Okay is okay, but if you said I want to be in the $500,000 realm, you best come up with a business plan. Now, I'm not going to say that AI cannot just produce you something out there quick, because we are in the age of AI. But guess what? I want to encourage you. If those are not your thoughts and ideas, put something on paper just to say it's there. It's not going to help you grow your company to the level that you can. It's a good starting point. It's a way that they can give you some content, they can give you some things to think about, but you have to do that for you. You have to take that they provide with you. You know, you look at it like research. They're gonna give you the research of it. Now you have to go in there and edit it, massage it, make it your personal story. Because whenever you start growing and developing, if you are looking at AI to do that for you, that's not going to happen. It's a tool. That's all it is. But you must write your own business plan. I was listening to someone was having a focus group conversation, and it came out. She said, "Oh, I can help write business plans and pump them out since we got AI now and this and that." And I'm looking at her and I'm like, "Okay, um, but is it authentic? Is it real? Is it that person company or is it someone else?" Now, look at the small print, and it does say on some of this information may not be accurate. The facts may not be true about the people and the data. We need to read the fine print. It is just a tool. You must be back to basic when you're writing a business plan and get someone to help you, but you should be the one creating this business plan because you why so many companies fail is because they fail to do the basic things, which is get it on paper, and they don't follow it. Don't get too comfortable that you know everything and that you don't seek help and guidance. And don't get so comfortable when someone give you great advice and enhancement that you can't receive it because it will show in your bottom line. And so let's write this business plan. Let's make sure we got clear objectives where we're going and what are the milestones. Now, what tools do we need to have when we're writing a clear vision and strategy? Strategic planning. I tell people you can't go wrong with the SWOT analysis. Being real, authentic, honest about who you are, where your company is at, your weaknesses, your strength. If you got to think twice, trust me, your first thought is the correct thought. If you have to analyze, well, I really don't think that's a weakness. If you got to do all of that, yes, it is. Put it down there. Your gut instincts and what you are thinking first, I found out to be the truth. So be honest with yourself when you do your SWOT analysis. Matter of fact, ask someone else to do that for you, to spend the time and the money and the resources to have someone to come in and walk you through, have them to pull that out of you. Now, you're going to probably think, well, I have someone that I can get to do this at no charge. Let us borrow. Let us do this. Pay people because this is so very important. That SWOT analysis is your meat and the potatoes of your company. And when you fail to invest in the fundamental things that you need, so many gaps, and that's why you're stuck. Also have a balanced scorecard. It tells you, one, that I complete these things that's going to make, and then not, let's go. So score it. So If it's 10 items and out of 10 items you did not complete but 8, it gives you opportunity, or 6, to say, what was I doing? What happened? What was going on? And it helps you the next time for the scorecard to correct that. So very important. Working on your business is just as important as working in your business. And too often we are spending more time kind of go after contracts, besides taking the time to sit down and say, let me build this, let me put it on paper, and let me not be deviating. Now you can pivot, but just to deviate over here because you think the money look good over here, I'm telling you, you're not going to get what you want from your company. Next, let's talk about knowledge and facts as it relates to having a clear vision and a strategy to go behind it. Understand the market trend. So often, we don't even know what market we're really, truly in, and we don't know how to look at the market and the market trend. Get some time to bring people that understand that together. Pay them to educate you, because once you get it, you know how to do it and follow it. Because so many, the world is changing every day. With technology, especially technology as AI, when it says some of this data may not be right, especially people that's writing grants and asking for funding, you need to make sure what you're putting down is actually right. So knowing your customer, knowing the trend, and knowing the competitive landscape. It's great to say the only person I have to compete against is myself. I think that is great, because that is a motivation by itself. Today, I'm going to outdo me. That's what I'm going to do. Yesterday, I only did 5. Today, I'm going to outdo me, and I'm going to do 6. The next day, I try to get up to my maximum. I think that's great. But you need to know who else is doing something similar to you. And sometimes we get so caught up in a good way to say it about someone's doing something like you that you think that, well, I can't share. They're going to copy me. There's too many people in the world. There's 8 billion people in the world. 6.6 have smartphones. You will not run out of your clients. Think about the Apple Watch, okay? The Google Watch, the Apple phone, the mobile phone, the Apple phone, the Android. Everybody have their own code. The phone does what? Answer, talk, receive. Okay. Now, you also have the other features that they have, but the basic is the same. You have airlines, Delta, American. They're in competition. But people that like Delta, fly Delta. People like America, fly America. But let it be that Delta don't have a flight. I'm going right on over there to America, and I'm going to get on that plane. We have to start thinking different. And knowledge is and having your facts is so important to having a clear vision and a strategy. So I ask you just go one, and let's move forward with that. Now we're going to talk about skills. Being a strategic thinker, a goal setter, and authentic. Be real or analytic. So you have to figure out which one works for you, and then the one that you don't have and you need some help with, you work on getting into those skills. Because all of us is not born with all of them. And so you either acquire them through education, or you find someone to have them and you pay them for their intellect to help you build that. And so often those are things that we do not want to do, is pay. I'm saying it's not about the money, it's about the invested to get where you are. You cannot keep all your funds in your bank account and expect to grow your company. It is not going to happen. Okay. So that's step one. Let's talk about another one. Step two, effective resources allocation. How do you allocate your resources? Okay. The benefit is you can do more with a team, a tribe, a group than you can do by yourself or staff. Okay. You can do more with a team, a staff, a group, or a tribe than you can do by yourself. If you're going to grow, bring other people in. Your question you may have said, maybe saying this, well, I'm just a startup. You still need to bring somebody else in. One to say, well, I don't have enough money to pay that person. You need to get creative about their skill set, because when they are doing something, that means, and they're great at it, you'll have more time to bring in more clients to be able to pay them a stipend for helping you. So let's take this as an example. Social media. You don't have time to be doing all that posting. Okay. And post with great content to make a difference. But you need that for brand awareness, for people to know what you're doing, to get more visibility, get more speaking engagement, get more in front of people. But you don't have that time to do it on a consistent basis. So my and this thing, my thought as a strategy was, I need to find someone that can do this, and I also need to look for more clients so I can afford to pay them for that one task, because the time that they are doing is taking less time than myself if I had to do it. Because I got to create it, I got to design it, I got to post it, I got the feedback, I got to do so much. But guess what? By the time I do that, I have had a conversation with 2 or 3 potential clients and bring them on and pay that person $500 a month for helping me do that. That's just a suggestion. The strategy behind understanding your resources that you need and having effective resources. Just don't have resources just to say you have them. Make sure that they are producing in order to increase your revenue to grow and thrive. And so the strategy behind that is that you want to allocate what you need to that resource, and in return have a scorecard in order to help measure it to see if it's profitable, and before you can tweak it. Look for any resource tools that you can use out there, in a project management software, in a budgeting software. What is it that's out there that you can use? Because those are tools, the one that you can implement, which will free you up to build your client base. And so you're always looking for, what can I do to, it's one person said was, think smarter. And you think about it, you're like, that's right, that is a smart. What tool that I could put in place that's going to save me 2 hours a day, and that is 14 hours total that week. Think about that. Look how many hours that week I have implemented that I could spend time building my client base. And the knowledge and the fact behind doing that is that you would design a cost structure in your company that yields a profit over and over and over again. And you will be able to capitalize off of those resources to enter other markets for a long-term strategy that you may have already thought about. And what type of skills that I think that you think about having? Number one, how do you analyze data? Now, I'm a data person. I love focus groups. I love to get all that data in and say, wow, this is where it's at. Look at this chart, this graph, because it have you to start thinking about what happened, what went wrong, where is the gaps, where's the hiccup, And then you can bring the solution. I'll say I can bring the solution to that. When you look at charts and graphs and data, that is the money maker of solution. So you want to say, okay, I have a solution for this drop in this service or product or skill or whatever is out there around your industry. So I'm really just say that I can't say enough about that. We're going to take a short commercial break. I hope that these two have helped you. We're going to come back and dive deeper in around about 3 other ones, and then you can go to our blog and download the remainder ones. Thank you so very much, and we'll be right back. Thank you so very much. And I wanted to tell you, it has been a great pleasure to work with you for these next 8 weeks, on 12 weeks to getting past stuck. And how do you get to living the lifestyle you desire, and then they define what that lifestyle is, and then move past your comfort zone to attain that. And so as we talk about invitation, let's go move on to the next one. Streamline processes. Now, if you do not have any processes in place, we must create some first. Because you need to make sure what you have is yielding you income. We can have a lot of processes in places, and it is not making any money. And sometimes I think we have them in place because we like them. Sometimes we think that, okay, this is my company, I know best. Yes, it's your company. But sometimes you have to step back and hear what your clients are saying, your customers saying, because you have to know, because they're the one buying the product or the services. So be okay to let go. Look at your processes. And if you don't have any, let's start talking about how to create some. A process is something I tell my clients, it yields profit at the end of every day. Okay. The process that I have to do a particular task, workshop, seminar, conversation, whatever it is, must yield profit at the end of the day. The process that GM has to move start with a one part of a car, that next it is in your driveway and you're making monthly payment or you don't pay cash for it. But it started out as a process with one part. At the end, it's in your driveway and it's taking you back and forth to work, taking you to you're using it to go to vacation, taking families on trips, taking mom to the doctor, taking kids to school. It is doing something for you. That process that they started out with one part ended over here. And guess what? In the process of them getting there, They had to make adjustments, tweak it, pivot, and do all of that. But the end was the reward, which was the funding in their pocket. So understand that the benefit for having it is that it's satisfaction to the client, but also it's the revenue that you have. That's the benefit. So let's talk about the strategy we're going to use. Sometimes when you are thinking about strategies and processes, we have this saying, it bottleneck, meaning you're holding it so tight that you're not willing to be open-minded, that it's stuck right there, and you won't let your hand off for aching up. So you bottleneck it. You stop all the flow of all the energy that's coming in, especially when you're working in groups, when you're working in with staffs, and when you're working if you decided that you have tribes. So I was listening at a Facebook post, and I thought it was a very good post. And the reason why it was that the person was talking about they bring their staff together once a month to talk about their three companies. And when she does this, she's looking for bright new ideas, something that gaps, something we can do better. But the fact that she says every person in the room have the voice, and every person get to hear each other, and our three companies is growing because everyone is engaged in some faction of the bigger company. So you may have a bigger company, you have three companies up under, or you may have three separate companies and they intertwine one another. But what was so impressive was the fact that she bring the staff together and they get a voice in how to move forward in a process. They get to talk about, well, in this process, we are being bottlenecked because of this. So in this process, it is not working because of this. Just a great way to have great communication, being a real, authentic, having people to have a say. And when people have a say, people tend to show up at work for you, and committed to the company growth, because they understand when the company is growing, they also receive income and they bonuses and pay raises and stuff. So we need to ensure that we are together with your team when you talk about putting in processes, because everyone need to be on the same page about that process. Tools. When you're designing these processes, some people use floor charts, some people use different type of software, some say a CRM system. You have to decide on what system works, but know this: you can probably just write step 1, 2, 3, 4, hand it up, and everybody check out for it. This is the process. This is how it works. You don't know how to get all fancy with all and spend up a lot of money and that you don't need. And if you buy these systems, please invest in sending people to learn how to use them. There's billions of dollars are wasted by people buying different equipment, different software, tools, and they don't learn how to use them, and they don't implement them. They see it, they like it, but that next step to implement it, they get so overwhelmed that they say, I got so much going on, I don't have time for this. And that's why you really need to get that team, that tribe, that staff involved in there. Knowledge is so very important, especially in whenever you're mapping something to get to a point of revenue. You could think about technology in this way. I think about it like this: is if you decide that you want to have 200 clients a year, you'll have to map out what that needs to look like. Now, you could drill down on how many you think you need to do a month, but you need to map down what it's going to take to get that client that day, or what you need to do that day, because you can't spend a whole day trying to get that one client in order to make that 200 for the year. So there's so much other things you need to map into that. It could be mapping out regions and how you're going to go into that region to bring your service or your product there. It could be a strategy that you have to use different when you go to certain states or countries. And so we need to think through what that mapping needs to look like and take the time and to do that. Working on your business is just as important as working in your business. You can spend so much time chasing after contracts that you do not get versus sitting down and come up with a plan and a process to how to build that number, and just keep adding a sum every year, every 6 months, whatever the process is. Skills. Having the right people is so very important. Is your weakness and putting in processes. It's not project management. You know that's not that's not what you're, and you're like, well, I'm the only one. Again, the reason you are not making the money that you can make is because you have not decided to grow to make the money that you can. You may have to be uncomfortable for a little while to get comfortable in the lifestyle you desire. You may have to cut back on some of the stuff that you want to do in order to pay someone to help you do something that's going to yield you more. And that is a smart person in leadership. And that goes to developing a strong leadership and commitment and communication around your company. Leadership is so very important. Knowing what type of leader am I, and being real and authentic about who am I. And sometimes we may think we're this way, but people see us another way. So it's okay to get enhancement and ask people to be honest and authentic with you. Now, you know the difference with someone being mean spirit. So you have to watch who you ask too, because some people you just don't not ask them nothing because they're jealous of you and they don't want good for you. But you start, and there are things you can ask in a way. You can say, hey, look, my company is having a strategic planning session, and I would like for you to provide some feedback, whether it's verbal or would you prefer written, on issues that, and it couldn't be about me. And I want you to be honest, because this is the only way my company can grow. Now, some people may be hesitating because, people don't want to hurt your feelings, stuff, but there is a way. Professional people understand why you need this. There's a way to do everything. And when you're weak in an area and you're authentic, people will let you know. It is how you say that to that person. But then the other part is this: here's a leader. You must be willing to accept it and make adjustments. See, if you want to live the lifestyle that you want, you got to be able to change some of the things. Because we get complacent, especially as we get older. We like stuff done a certain way, and we just like it. It's easy, it's simple. We don't want someone to come in and rock the boat, okay? But guess what? That boat needs to be rocked. So water need to come in there and wake you up, because you keep saying, I want a better lifestyle. I want to retire. I want better for my family. You keep having all you want, but as a leader, you have to move from what you want to the action items to actually doing it. So I'm going to encourage you to look at your leadership style and be honest with yourself. You know your weakness. You know your strengths. You know what you need to be working on. You know what you hide from yourself. You know that. If you want to live the lifestyle, you need to deal with that. Deal with it, and the benefits is going to be for you. Personally, the benefits is going to be for you. Less stress, less worration, less gaps, benefits, income, lifestyle I desire. I'm happier. I got joy. I got peace. I want to be with myself. How about that? That is great. A strategy that you can use is get regular feedback from people. Especially if you're with a group and y'all working as a team, it's okay to say, you know what? How did I perform as a team with y'all the best I could, or could I have done something better? One, did I show up to meetings all the time late? No one's saying anything because I'm the president of the company. That is not okay. Two, am I taking phone calls whenever we are having a work session? That's not okay. Three, am I coming to the meetings not prepared? Doing it off the cuff. Those are not leadership traits that you bring if you're ready to do the lifestyle that you want, if you're ready to grow your company or your nonprofit. Things that you can do is take something and work it through that you want to change. Don't try to take everything and try to get it through. Say, you know what, I want to work on this one issue. I have a bad habit. You can say to yourself, I'm not returning my emails on a timely thing. So you can say, I want to answer my emails every morning at 9 o'clock from 9 to 9:30. Cut off time. Then I'm not going to answer any more emails until in the afternoon from 2 to 3:30 or 2 to 2:30. That's it. And then before I leave, I'm going to look at the emails. It doesn't require you to be on your email all day, because what happens is, when are you being productive? It also could be that you like to do your emails in the morning time and give it 30 minutes, and then in the afternoon 30 minutes, and by the end of the week you catch up on everybody. But you have to come up with a system to how to be effective that week. Or is it that you must have your phone with you 24 hours a day, that you're so important that you cannot turn it off? It's ringing, it's vibrating, and you got to answer every email someone sent, or that you got to look at it. You got to be on Facebook. If you find that, you say, you know what? Am I using my time wisely? Okay. So the tool is come up with a system and take one, and until you complete it and you're comfortable knowing that you have that before you add something else, because you still have all the life challenges that come with just living every day and building the company every day that you cannot implement everything. So they say, you know what, I want to do this, and that's it. You can also say, next, phone calls. I do not have to answer the phone every time it rings. I can wait and return phone calls at these other times. Blocking off time to work, grow processes and systems. Fact. When your knowledge fact is, when people around you see that discipline in you, that inspires them to want to change. Whether it is your staff, your family, people in the community, when they see your commitment and how you are showing leadership, they want to be a part of that. You do not have to be part of the gossip group. You could be part of the building up people group. So leaders are so important, and that's the trait that you want to show every day. And skills. Study leadership development. Study how to resolve conflict and how to build teams so your company can be successful and thrive. I want to thank you for being with us tonight and the Plan to Prosper podcast show. I hope that I said something that have resonated with you on implementation, because you can reach the lifestyle you desire. It can be echoed from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, and your community and your customers and your family. And this, you just walking down the street, people will see what a fantastic person you are, because they can get the vibe off of you that would change them when they see you smile and be part of the world that you are creating, which is closing gaps and building solid companies that can grow and thrive and develop other people along the way, that they are also reaping the benefit of all the work you put in yourself. Mark, I want to thank you so very much for all that you do for the Plan to Prosper show and all the other shows that Mark does. Follow him on Pod TV or Google Mark Lee. I'm telling you, on LinkedIn, you are going to be um, just blown away with the type of shows he produced. There's something for everyone. He have us on Roku. He have us on Amazon Fire, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Spotify, iHeart. When you have a creative person, I tell people you have to give them they do, not just to them, but for the world to know. And I'm giving you your due for all 200 countries that you represent every day by bringing Pod TV on this platform. Everyone have a fantastic night, and I will see you next Tuesday. Go to the website, www.thesharoncampbell.com. Look at the blog and just download the 12 weeks of Getting Past Stuck. Have a fantastic night, everyone.